I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. Alright, let's bring it up a little bit. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am. All right. You guys sound great. Now the next one, let's stand up and sing out. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. Whoa. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. Whoa. Let's take some of that wonderful time and say hello to the people around you. All right, we're going to break it down now. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. Whoa. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. Whoa. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, Nothing is too much trouble. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. Whoa. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. Whoa. Where there is love.
Thank you, songbirds. Let's give them a hand. Beautiful. Good morning, beloved center. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley, and the beautiful Baha'i Center. It is my joy to welcome each and every one of you here today. My name is Judy Chapman. I am your assistant minister, and I'm delighted that you're here. I wanted to read this prayer that was written by James Dillett Freeman, a unity minister from 1941. I love it, and I wanted to share it with you. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. The mind of God guides you. The life of God flows through you. The laws of God direct you. The peace of God abides within you. The joy of God uplifts you. The strength of God renews you. The beauty of God inspires you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. I love that. I love that poem, and I've said it for well, not since 1941, but since 1946. So, so we are going to start our service this morning, like we do every Sunday, with the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence that we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and the practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and the path of peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as our practitioner, Jill Burnett, lights that last candle, please let it represent the path that brought you to this Sunday celebration this morning. And now let's take 2 minutes of sacred silence.
staying in that sacred silence of peace and serenity. This is what I know. I know there's only one power, one presence, one infinite source, and that's what I call God. I know that God is in me, through me, as I know that God is in, around, and through each and every one of us here. I know today and this holiday season is going to be wonderful for all. Especially today, there's a recognition that shows up. There's a nudge, an aha moment for each and every one of you. I know that during the holiday season, it can be challenging for some, especially for those who have lost someone dear to them or for those without family. But I know for you and for everyone here that this season, there is a special gift of love, and that hope and love appears. Look for them, be open to them. They're signs, and they will be there. I know for each and every one of us, we are surrounded like a warm blanket in love, joy, peace, harmony, and perfect health. With this, I give great thanks and release it into the law, and together we say, and so it is. Okay, now, if you look in your program, you'll see the global vision, and we could read it together, please. We see a world that works for all, where people live according to spiritual truth, where unity and connection are emphasized, where people have enough food, homes, and sense of belonging, and where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all. Thank you. Let's do the affirmation together. I recognize the one life expressing through every form, and I honor the divine in all. And so it is.
Did we mispronounce that? Perfect. Well, I am delighted to introduce to you a new vocalist to our center, and we are so happy that you are here. And let us give a warm welcome to Shiro Nobinaga. How'd I do? Okay.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Good morning. I hope you guys had a beautiful Thanksgiving. It's my joy and honor to be here, to be able to share some music with you, and to play with this fabulous band today. The first song I'd like to do is a song that was very popular in the 80s. And a lot of people know it as just a very pop song, but when I read the story behind the song, that it was written during wartime, and it's a band called Modern English, and the songwriter Robbie Gray thought that if there's going to be a nuclear war, that I would just want to make love to you and melt together as one. And it was a message of finding sanctuary in unity in the time of chaos, and so this was a very fitting song, a theme of unity that is all that is. So I wanted to share this with you. It's called Melt With You. Moving forward, using all my breath, making love to you was never second best. I saw the world crashing all around your face, never really knowing it was always measuring lace. stop the world and melt with you. You seem the difference, and it's getting better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. I'll stop the world and melt with you. Dream of better lives, the kind which never hates. Trapped in the state of imaginary grace. I made a pilgrimage to save this human race, never comprehending the race is long gone by. I'll stop the world and melt with you. You've seen the difference, and it's getting better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. I'll stop the world and melt with you. All the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. I'll stop the world and melt with you. Oh, I'll stop the world and melt with you. I'll stop the world and melt with you. Stop the world and melt with you. You know that I'll stop the world and melt with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Up the cassette player for the, I don't know. let me talk into the mic. Let's give our band and our soloist another hand. Yeah, that was awesome. So good morning, everyone, and Grand Rising. My name is Reverend Dr. Alice Reid, and I'm the spiritual director here, and I'm so happy to be with you on this holiday weekend. I hope you all had a nice Thanksgiving. Whether you were able to be with family or not, hopefully you might have been with a family of choice as opposed to a family of birth, or perhaps it was a great time for you to sort of, hibernate in your own space. Whatever you did, I trust that it was a good experience for you. I did not have the Thanksgiving that I had intended. But I did have a lovely Thanksgiving. I was not able to be with my family for one reason or another, but I am grateful to be here with all of you this morning on this glorious day in Southern California. Sometimes our talk titles seem a little odd. Did anybody read the talk title for this morning and think, what? The soul of an octopus. The soul of an octopus, yeah. What does an octopus have to do with anything that you might hear in a spiritual center? Well, we are talking about its soul, right? One of the things that I have learned over the years of being a metaphysician and a religious scientist is that I am able to find meaning in almost everything. But sometimes finding meaning in everything can really cause us to go a little out there, right? And so I can find meaning in everything, but then I can be grounded in principle. And so as I looked at this particular talk topic, I tried to think to myself, and I looked in our Science of Mind magazine, available for sale in the lobby, and at Barnes & Noble. I looked in our Science of Mind magazine, and at our declarations of principle, and I found this one to be the most apropos for finding meaning in today's talk. And that is that we believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny, for we understand that the life of all is God. We understand that the life of all is God. Absolutely, this principle isn't just true for you. This principle is true for the person sitting next to you. Its principle is true for your neighbors. This principle is true for people you don't agree with. This principle is true for that person that might have rear-ended you on the 5 on your way to see your son. And hurt your brand new car. Everybody was fine. This principle is true for even people who we consider to perpetrate terrible crimes against other people. We really do believe that God is in all life, that all life is a representation of God. And so as we look at this topic of the soul of an octopus, it actually comes right from a lovely little book that I found in our local little beach bookstore here in San Clemente. I knew this was coming up, and I was so surprised when it just fell off the shelf in front of me, kinda. And it's written by a woman by the name of Cy Montgomery, and it's entitled The Soul of the Octopus. And in it, the author tells us the adventures of meeting and experiencing various octopus. Now, if you're like me, you're probably familiar with the mythologized octopus, right? Like if you think about it, in our literature, maybe the image that comes to my mind is the same image that comes to your mind, which is some giant sea monster with its arms all around a 17th century sailboat. Maybe he's got a sailor or two, and he's waving it around in his arm and bringing the sailboat down. Like, that's sort of the sea monster idea of what octopuses are. Interesting fun fact, octopi is not plural for octopuses. So it is octopuses. You might be thinking, why didn't you say octopi? And I have a couple of other fun facts to share with you, but I will tell you that in this book, she describes her curiosity, against the mythologized idea of octopuses, and she has what she describes as almost a mystical experience. So here are some interesting facts about octopuses. They have neurons or brains in each of their 8 arms. That's pretty amazing to me. Those Each of their arms is independent and can think of it by itself. It can taste, it can touch, each arm solves problems on its own. It can independently decide things. In other words, the consciousness is distributive, not centralized. Does that sound familiar at all to you? Consciousness being distributive and not centralized? In our philosophy, we teach that there is only one God, but that it is not centralized. We're not puppets on a string that are all being animated by this one God. No, we're individualized expressions of the one. I thought that was a kind of fun analogy when I was looking at that fact about octopuses. Some of the the not so deep facts about octopus is they can change color in an instant, allowing them to adapt to their environment. They can recognize individual human beings. They know the difference between the person that feeds them and the person that cleans their cage and the person who annoys them. They behave in, different ways for different people. They can hold grudges. Yes, in her book, she shares a story about one octopus that didn't like one of its handlers and it has this ability to spray water from a fountain within itself, and it would always spray this person. And as a matter of fact, this one particular intern didn't see the octopus for several years, came back to visit, and it sprayed her right away. That's pretty amazing. So it can hold grudges. It remembers kindness, and it prefers some people over others. They have unique personalities and are very playful. And scientists claim that playfulness is a sign of advanced intelligence. Now, some of you might be describing me as playful. I'm just saying, right? They dream. They can grow back any limbs that are cut off or injured. They have 3 hearts, 2 that pump blood to the gills and 1 that pumps blood to their appendages. They can taste with their skin. She describes feeding an octopus, and the handler would put the fish or crabs lower down on its extremity, and it would use its suckers to pull it in towards its beak, like it was tasting the flavor with each of its little suckers. And I thought this was really fascinating that their species is 300 plus million years old. Like, they've been around a long time. Fascinating, right? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's really fascinating. And what does that have to do with spirituality? Well, I think it has a lot to do with this idea that sea monsters or monsters in general, right? We villainize things. We've been villainizing octopuses for centuries. And yet when this one particular naturalist met the octopus, and she has chapter after chapter of meeting different personalities at different aquariums. It's really fascinating. And so she approaches the prejudice and the bias that she had around these beings with curiosity and open-mindedness, and she discovered they were not evil monsters at all, but just misrepresented creatures. And so I think that we all have monsters, right? We all have monsters in our experiences, things, events, people that we have just villainized or pushed away. In recovery circles, there's a saying that sort of speaks to that, and it goes like this, that we don't want to have contempt prior to investigation. That oftentimes we make assumptions and we have contempt about a person, a place, or a thing prior to investigating what it's really about, what it's there to show me, what it's there to help us understand. And so I'd like you to consider what some of the monsters are in your life that you might want to investigate. Like, I know, who's got time, right? But honestly, if you and I'll tell you in my own experience, right? But when one has, so I won't point any fingers. Put my hand behind my back. If one has a lot of energy around resisting something or someone or some institution, there might be something there for you. I mean, it's, your energy is precious. Why are you spending it resisting something that maybe there's something there for you to learn more about it? So I'll tell you about my own invitation to explore a monster of my own. And the monster that I had to explore was, at the time, I called Westernized Christianity. And today you might call it conservative Christianity. And it was definitely something I wanted nothing to do with. I had contempt for it. As a matter of fact, I remember being in a workshop, and it was in a remote location. It was a little Jesus-y for me. And I remember walking out of the workshop and seriously considering leaving. I was out of there. I didn't want to hear any of this because it was this place that I didn't want to investigate at all. And it was an hour car ride. I had no car, and it would have been an hour car ride to the airport. I would have had to get a ticket and fly home, and so I stuck it out. And the interesting thing that happened was that I hit an insight into what that villainization was all about, where it had really given birth within me. And I remembered being a teenager, and I and my boyfriend were exploring Christianity. We were going to Bible study, and I was going to this conservative Christian church, and I was still in the discovery phases when he unfortunately was hit by a truck and killed on the freeway. And I had misplaced that grief right in the pocket of this idea of Christianity. Like, if God was real, if Jesus was really the Son of God and my protector, then why would this happen to me? Now, obviously, I didn't have that conscious thought pattern, but I was able to see it at that moment. And when I was able to see it at that moment, it unlocked my bias, my prejudice. It gave me the willingness to explore. And what I found was a beautiful teaching of love that was anchored in ancient Christian mysticism. And I would have missed all of that if I had continued to villainize the monster that was before me. It was a huge barrier, and it was difficult for me to even consider moving through it until I was open enough to have some curiosity around it. And coincidentally today, when we were in our old place of gathering, this is the Sunday where I would have an Advent wreath, and I would do a little metaphysical Advent ritual with you. And that is one of the things that that came forward for me as I began to explore rituals and Christian mysticism. I found a depth and a beauty, and actually growing up as a little Catholic girl, I went all the way to my first Holy Communion. I was able to reclaim the best of that. And because I'm a religious scientist, I was able to make meaning of it, meaning that was steeped in principle for me. That doesn't mean, I'm not going to tell you that I'm subscribing completely to what was that villainized Western Christianity, but I can tell you that I was able to find some beauty in it. I was able to discover a piece of myself that I had left behind. I like to say I threw out the baby Jesus with the bathwater. But honestly, I needed to get rid of the baby Jesus so that I could discover the mature, beautiful doctrine of love that is within some of the ancient teachings that the master teacher, Jesus of Nazareth, is given credit for bringing forward to us. So this Advent exercise that we typically do is an exercise. It's a ritual of being able to rebirth the light, to bring it forward to us. And this year it's a little different. We're not going to have a Christmas Eve service, but we're going to do a solstice service on the solstice, which happens to be December 21st. And so I'm going to invite you to consider what some of the more earth-based spiritual practices do, and that is to do a annual return of the sun ritual. That looks a lot like Advent. But the truth is, and if you study any of the ancient Christian practices, many of them were birthed in pagan practices. And so I'm going to invite you to consider lighting your own candle and asking some questions. What I'll tell you is that this first candle often represents in Christian circles hope. It represents the hope for a new beginning, the hope for rebirth, the hope for bringing forth that which is within us and wants to see light again. Now this I don't know about you, but it gets dark for me at 4:30, and these are those darkest days of the year. And so as we look at this idea of Advent, or as the earth, I want to get the name right, what the earth spirituality practices call the annual solstice sun wreath ceremony, it's an opportunity for us to go within, because the light is diminished this time of year. That's the thing I love about the solstice practice, is it gives us an opportunity. You know, it's easy to see the light when the days are long and bright, but when it gets dark, and we're in Southern California, so we usually see sun, but back east, it was cloud cover most of the day, and you could really be challenged with not having enough sunlight. And so in this time, it's an opportunity for us to go deeper, to go into that place of contemplation. And I would invite you to find 4 candles, and you can do it any time of the week. You might want to do it Sunday evening, and light your candles one at a time. And so this week, as you light your candle, in this metaphysical sun wreath Advent ritual that I'm inviting you to practice, I have a couple of prompts for you to reflect on in light of our discussion about octopuses and monsters and contempt prior to investigation and principle. You could ask the question, and I've given these questions to the people who print things out, so it'll be in our newsletter, and it'll be in my blog, and in the Conscious Connections, you'll have an opportunity to discuss them as well. So the first question to consider is, what wants to be reborn in you this time? What of year? What wants to be reborn in you? The second question is, what do you hope for? The third question might be a little more challenging. What monsters do you need to face? And the fourth question, what might they teach you as you are willing to be with your monsters in the dark as we await the return of the light? I have to tell you, I have that monster I shared with you is only one. Only one of my own monsters. And I have found a great deal of freedom when I'm willing to explore those places that scare me, those places where I may have great resistance. I have found resistance, when it rears its head in my life, is often the cue that there's time to do some spiritual work, that there's time to lean in when I have a lot of resistance around something. Because what I know is that as a spiritual being having a human experience, that my life and the life of all life is meant to be free. We're meant to experience freedom. And so when we're experiencing constriction, when we're experiencing resistance, when we're experiencing anger or fear, well, those aren't organic to our nature. But they are telltale signs that we might have an opportunity or invitation before us. And so you can use this ritual as an opportunity to invite something new in while we share this longest nights of the year together. And so each week I will have some prompts for you and an invitation to light a candle in your home. And even on December 14th, when the Baha'i Center does their soul journey here, I'll write a little something for you. We'll send it out to you, and we'll have some questions for you. And it could be a really wonderful time of discovery. And my hope for you in this first Sunday in Advent of hope, my hope for you is that you'll find greater freedom, that you'll find release, that you'll find a more authentic experience of this thing called life. And so let's brave our monsters together in these darkest days. And I'll close with this brief story about Cy Montgomery's first encounter with the Pacific octopus, her first sea monster, if you will. It was named Athena. And she met Athena in a New England aquarium. And when she first met Athena, she approached the octopus tank with a lot of curiosity, and she was expecting curiosity from the sea creature itself. But what she experienced could only be described as mystical. As Cy reached her arms into the tank, Athena slowly reached out one arm and then another and then another, and her suckers were making gentle contact with Cy's skin. And Montgomery writes that she could feel the octopus tasting her skin. Yeah. Not as prey, but as presence. And as Athena pulled her closer with a surprising amount of strength, she then softened her pull. It was almost gentle, as if to say, I see you, and I know you. Cy said she never experienced anything like it. There was emotion and connection and awareness, and it was not imagined. She felt it. And then something extraordinary happened. As Cy was touching the skin of the octopus, suddenly a gentle rose color appeared in the skin of the octopus. And that color, rose, is actually known by scientists to mean that it's a sign of pleasure, contentment, or trust. And in that moment, our author understood that this creature recognized her, that it chose to engage with her, and that it was expressing a form of affection. Wow. She said it felt like communion. Yeah. I have experienced communion in spiritual practice, in connection with another person. I have experienced communion and union with animals. And for me, I know that that is the touch point of our spiritual nature when we can experience that kind of communion with one another. So this holiday season, as we move through Advent a little differently this year than we have the last couple of years, I invite you to lean in, to lean into your resistance, to look at your monsters, to be willing to have a different experience, and to have hope that freedom is on the other side of it. Thank you very much. So we have a lovely practice of affirmative prayer. And so join me, if you will, in this affirmative prayer, will you? I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze. And to just breathe the air so freely available to you, knowing that this air is the beautiful representation of spirit that is forever filling us and helping us to release things we don't need. And so I know that this divine presence is everything we are. We can never be separate from it, but we are individuated. We are independent. We are given that beautiful, priceless gift of free will. And so I know for each one, the power and the courage to have that free will to investigate and to explore, to look for our monsters, to be willing to let go, to be willing to have a different experience, to be willing to see what the invitation is that our resistance brings to us. And so I know for each one a greater freedom, of relaxing into this thing we call life, knowing that we are one with all life and there are no exceptions, and carrying that truth with us on this journey I've called Advent. And so I know for each one the power and presence of release as we let this go and we let it be with gratitude. And if you agree with me, please say, and so it is. And so now it's my great pleasure to bring back our wonderful musician, Shiro. And I'm not going to try his last name. He can say it for you. And the band. Let's give him a big hand. Shiro.
This is a song that I'm sure you're all familiar with, a song by James Taylor. If there's a word that sums up the spirit of this song, is for me is resilience.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. Just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire, I've seen rain, I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. You've got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. Oh, I've seen fire, I've seen rain. I see sunny days and I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I see you again. Been walking my mind to an easy time. My back turns toward the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. There's hours on time on a telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines and pieces on the ground. Oh, I've seen fire, I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I see you, baby, one more time again. Thought I see you one more time again. Well, there's few things coming my way. Fire and rain. Thank you very much.
Let's give him another hand. Thank you. That was beautiful.
I'd like to thank Josh for introducing me to this beautiful place and community, and thank you, Karen, for coordinating everything, and thank you, fabulous band.
Thank you.
And thank you all.
That was spectacular. Loved it. And thank you, David, Lou, Ed, and John David for your beautiful music every week. Thank you so much. Our wonderful band. It's time now for our conscious committed giving. If our stewards would please come forward. is the time where we give back to where we're spiritually fed. And I feel like we've had a banquet today. It's been lovely. It's been wonderful. There's so many ways to give. We have in your program where there's several different ways you can give. Nowadays, it's so easy. It's so easy. Or you can mail a check to our center. And so let us consciously say our prosperity affirmation. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and it symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. Thank you.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Love. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
As these financial gifts circulate throughout our community, we know that each recipient is blessed with divine abundance. We are so grateful for the energy of God as money. Thank you, God, for the gift of prosperity. And so it is. It's time for our gratitude acknowledgments. And I love the name of that because when on New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving Eve, we were talking about, Dr. Alice was talking about appreciation and gratitude, and it brings joy. Appreciation and gratitude. And I want to say that each one of you is the face of God to me, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. You fill my life with joy. Thank you. So we are grateful for all the volunteers. And if you have volunteered for the month of November, would you please stand so we can give you a lot of love, volunteered in any way. Thank you so much. Takes a village. We have practitioners that are available to you after the service. There are times in our lives where we hit a bump in the road or we have a challenge, and we might need prayer, and I know that prayer works. So our prayer practitioners this week are Cheryl Lyman, Paula Manis, and Jill Burnett, and they're available at the back of the room if you would like to have a prayer with them, an affirmative prayer. They have been trained in the art and the science of affirmative prayer, so they know their stuff, and they can see through what you're going through to the truth of who you are, which is a beautiful spiritual being and a light unto the world. So avail yourself of that gift that we're giving you today. And now I'd like to invite Dr. Alice.
Thank you. Always such a warm welcome for our invitations. I want to say thank you to Mary Brogdon, who was able to engineer a wonderful experience for our guests and first-time visitors. She successfully created an electronic guest book. Thank you so much. And so if this is your first time here, please raise your hand because we do have a little gift for you. And then we also invite you to fill out, and if maybe you're a second-time guest or a third-time guest and you've never done this, please raise your hand. We have a gift for you. And then we invite you to fill out our electronic guest book. And when you do that, you get a gift from us, a cup of Starbucks coffee coupon. So if anybody here would like to receive our gift, no? Well, bring a first-time guest next week because next week my talk title is going to be Surrendering into Newness, and our guest artist will be our home team. That's Allendale. And that'll be a lot of fun. Conscious Connections will meet today in the lobby. I've given those questions to Mary, so if you want to contemplate them more, you can. Conscious Connections is a group of individuals come together after our time on Sundays and take a deeper dive into what they've heard. Our Science of Mind magazines for November and December are available in the lobby. They have great daily guides and wonderful articles to keep your thumb on the pulse of your own conscious development. They're $12 for 2 months of content. It's a great deal, and it supports our organization. Throughout this month, we are enrolling people in Ralph's Shoppers program. If you set that up and you shop at Ralph's, we'll get a small percentage of whatever you purchase at Ralph's. So please see Francie or Mary if you still haven't registered your Ralph's account with our nonprofit. Next Sunday, finally, I have been waiting and waiting and waiting. Next Sunday, we have a holiday concert with our very own band. Woo! You'll want to come for the talk and the music, and you're going to want to stay for the concert. We'll have a couple of fun auctions, a little silent auction, as well as a opportunity raffle for a couple of gift baskets. It's all of this is designed to help support our music program. Obviously, we have an amazing music program, but it does take a little investment. So we invite you to be part of that investment. Come to the concert, bring some friends. It's a holiday concert. We're also going to be at putting on the glitz, inviting the public, so we might have a larger crowd. It'd be a lot of fun. You want to get here so you get a good seat. Thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. Should we give them a name besides the band? The band. The house band. So you definitely want to check that out. Some things to keep in mind. December 14th, the Baha'i community does their own deal on Sunday. It's called Soul Journey. It starts at a different time. It has a different flow. You're going to want to pay attention to that. You probably don't want to get here before 11 o'clock. So, or else you just help set up with them. So that's on the 14th. The 21st, we will be doing during the Sunday service, we'll do a little solstice ritual. So I hope you'll join us for that. We have our usual things happening. Monday and Tuesday, yoga at the center in San Juan. Shifting sands on Thursday, Friday morning, support group on Zoom. There's lots of ways to stay connected in this time when we get busy and distracted. Avail yourself so that you can be conscious during the holidays. And with that, I want to invite our songbirds back up. Let's sing.
All right, you guys ready? Let's stand up. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
So repeat after me. I am the face of love.
I am the face of love.
And so it is.